This is the Life Path Tarot reading for air signs. That's Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And this is for the second half of July. So that's from around about now to the 1st of August, more or less. It's that sort of period. So, what is going to be happening for you? Air signs, you are the swords in the tarot pack, and you are the logicians, the thinkers. You are the planners and advisors, clear thinkers, clear communicators. Swords is your energy within the tarot. So let's see what's going to happen for you up until the beginning of August. The first cards I'm going to pick are going to be the energy that you're bringing into the reading. So what you are right now, what you've been bringing forward. And we'll look at your goals, your ambitions, things that are standing in your way, your strengths, your weaknesses. And after that, we'll look at the steps that you can take to make the most out of this time, what you can do to achieve your goals, to achieve what you want to achieve. And then finally, we'll look at what the outcome is likely to be if you follow those steps, follow that path. Okay, so what are you coming into the second half of July with to begin with? And you start off, okay, so first card, the very first card is the Hermit. So you've been taking yourself out of circulation a bit recently, in the past couple of weeks or so, maybe from the beginning of July. You've been taking a step back, going inwards rather than outwards. We don't know what the reason for that is. Or I don't know what the reason. You know what the reason for that is. I don't know what the reason is. But this is what you've been doing. Not putting yourself out in the marketplace, keeping yourself to yourself, but going inwards, being with your thoughts, with your own thoughts. And it's possible. Now, the second card is that it is possible that this has created something of a dilemma for you. You have two thoughts or two options or two possibilities, and they both seem equally attractive, or hopefully not, but equally unattractive. So you have a decision to make about something, and it is really not very clear what the decision should be. There's no clear preference. So that's what you're coming in to this reading with. So let's have a look at what your goal is. Okay, so we've got the Hierophant. So your goal is to find the right way to do something, either to find the right way to do it, find an institution that will show you the right way to do it, or find a mentor who will show you the right way to do it. It's about not not taking a wild chance on something, not taking a wild guess, finding the correct way, what you feel in here or in here. If your swords, air signs are very much up here rather than in here. It's finding out the correct way for you to do something. You've got something in mind. You need to find the right way to do it. And this is your goal at the moment, finding the right way, finding the right person who can help you, or finding the right education that would help you, the right qualification, the right information. It's finding the right way, the way that sits well with you. And it's probably a traditional way, a very well thought out way. Okay. And what stands in the way of that is, right, so this is the Five of Cups. So what stands in the way of that is some emotional conflict within you. Doing this might mean, or this suggests strongly that it means that you will have to say goodbye to something. You'll have to leave something behind. And that's causing you an emotional upset, which you're mainly up here, heads, thoughts, logic, clarity, communication, intelligence, decisiveness. And this is causing you difficulties because this is all here. This is not something that you can objectify. These are feelings that in finding this right way of doing it, you're going to have to give something up. You're going to have to say goodbye to something. You're going to have to turn your back on something and take this path instead. And that's causing you upset. It's not surprising. I mean, leaving things behind, saying goodbye to things, that's what they do. It's, however much you want to move on, however much you want to leave them behind and move on with something that is much better, it still costs you. It still costs you something here. So that's the problem. What are the strengths that you bring that are going to help you solve that? You have the Fool. This doesn't mean that you are a fool. You are very, very, very far from a fool. Air signs are the most incisive and intelligent and rational and logical signs. The sword's energy within the tarot is about clarity, real cutting edge clarity of thought and communication. But the Fool means that you are you're always ready to start afresh, start a new chapter, start just with your own resources, your own devices, just go out there and start again. That is a great strength that you have. You're perfectly able to put things in the past and just kind of, open the door on a new life, a new opportunity, a new way, a new path, and just get on with it with immense belief in yourself, immense belief in your abilities as well. So that is your strength that is going to help you reach your goal and solve whatever this is, and solve whatever this dilemma is as well. It's about being able to just start again, start a new chapter, full of potential and hope and openness and completely open-minded. So what is the environment into which you're having to do all this? So what's the energy around you at the moment? What's the environment around you? Where are you? So this is the Eight of Pentacles. So pentacles are usually material things and often to do with career or finance. And this suggests that you are having to attain mastery in something. So learning something new, gaining skills, gaining experience possibly. And it might be that this is what you're having to do. This is the clear path that you are having to find. How do you do this? How do you gain the mastery that you need? So if this was somebody looking at wanting more training in something, wanting more qualifications in something, more training, more skills, improving their skills, this would be, you want to do this in a very traditional, very well-grounded, correct manner. So this would be like a university degree or a PhD or a doctorate or something. This is how you would gain the skill that you need, rather than looking on YouTube or something, or going off for I don't know, a weekend retreat or something. It's a much more traditional path and it's going to suit you better. So the environment in which you're making these decisions and facing these dilemmas is one where you are trying to attain mastery, or you have to attain, or you're being encouraged to attain mastery in something. And it's probably something quite practical as well. But if you do that, you have the chance to move forward immensely. You have the chance to sort of take take a huge step forward. So how do you do that? How are you going to, sorry, I've just lost I've just lost half the cards. Hang on. Let me find them again. Um right, got them. Okay. Sorry, I put them underneath something else. I don't know why I've done that. Right, so what do you need to do to find that? What steps do you need to take? How are you going to achieve that? So before you do anything else, you have to set some boundaries. Um, I don't know what sort of boundaries they are, but they're definitely to do with your motivation and your sense of yourself, your beliefs, and your enthusiasms, passions. This is wands. This is the seven of wands. So before taking any steps, take some time out to think about where the boundaries are. What are you prepared to negotiate over? What are you not prepared to negotiate over? And be prepared for that to maybe cause a little bit of conflict, maybe with other people, maybe just internal conflict with yourself. But you have to know where your boundaries are before you can move on. What are you prepared to accept and what is non-negotiable? Okay. Once you've done that, well, once you've done that, you can start to take action. I think this is the main thing that you need to do. You need to know where your red flags are, where your red lines are. And once you do, a lot of things will become clear. You can start to take action. This is the Knight of Wands. So this is the same kind of energy as this. It's about motivation and about putting your heart and soul into things. So your passion, your engagement, your yeah, your enthusiasm for it. Your enthusiasm will be rekindled once you know what this is. Once you know where your boundaries are, your enthusiasm will help you move forward in the right way, in the right direction, the direction you want to go in. And as a result, oh, this is okay. So you had the Eight of Pentacles as the environment in which you were in, that you wanted to attain mastery in a practical way. And here we have the Queen of Pentacles, which suggests that you actually achieve that. So again, it's Pentacles, so it's very practical. It's to do with career, usually, finance, abundance, home, life, comfort, practicalities. It's about building a comfortable life. It's about abundance and a good life, just having a good life, building a good life, one which is supporting you. So, yeah, you have the opportunity, the energy is there, the action is there, actions, things start to happen. And this is where you can end up. Queen energy is what you would expect a queen to be, in charge of things, on top of things, running things, controlling things. This is you, kind of in charge of your life, in charge of your skills, in charge of what you're doing, in charge of where you're doing it, how you're doing it, in a very, very down to earth, very practical way. So, what is the outcome after all that? What happens? And we have, right, okay, more pentacles. This is the Three of Pentacles. So what we have is gone from the Queen of Pentacles, being in charge of your life and what you're doing and how you're doing it, to actually building that with others as well. So becoming involved with something larger, building something bigger, building it with in the company of others, with the help of others, with the forming alliances, allegiances with others to build something even bigger. I'm going to clarify that because that doesn't look like an out, it's sort of an outcome, but it's an ongoing outcome. Let's see if we can get a bit more clarity on that. So let me draw a couple more cards and see what we're looking at. So we have the Three of Pentacles, and clarifying that, we have your energy, Swords energy, energy of the air signs, the Queen of Swords. So you had the Queen of Pentacles, now you've got the Queen of Swords. So it is Queen energy, queenly energy, being in charge of things, running the show. And this is your thoughts, your ideas. This is where you are comfortable, very comfortable. Air signs, anything to do with thoughts, thinking, clarity, communication. This is going to give you the chance to move to here. So you've built something that gives you the opportunity to really use your intellect, use your cutting edge ability to literally cut through to the core of things, the foundation, the truth of things. It gives you this is what you're building. This is where you're going. This is where you're heading. Being in a position to do this, to use your energy, your skills, your natural ability. You're in that position. You're the queen. That's brilliant. And what else? So just one more clarifying card. It gets even better. The next one is the King of Swords. So this is this card, but with more authority, more oomph, more more power, more authority, more responsibility. This really is kind of going back. So you wanted clarity and um, the correct way to do something, the right way to do something. And this is almost you. This kind of becomes you. It's it's a it's very difficult to put it into words, but these two cards are not entirely dissimilar. This is about knowing the right way. It's about knowing truth, having clarity, and this is very much the same. So it is almost, I mean, I could say, if you were looking for a mentor, you will find one. More than that, you will eventually actually become one yourself in turn. That's the kind of energy surrounding this. So that may apply in that very direct way to you, or it may be a little bit more vague or hazy. But it's that sort of energy. You become what it is that you're seeking in your goal at the moment. You go all the way. You go full circle. That obviously is, I mean, these are not going to happen. This is going to be beginning, the sort of the beginning, say the beginning half of August. This is going to take a lot longer because you've got two stages to go through. So this is going to take, a bit of time to get here to the King of Swords, to the full potential that you have in your own energy, your intellect, your thinking skills, your clarity, your communication, all of those things. It's going to take a bit of time, but you are going to get there. And that's the result. You become the King of Swords. Tarot cards, of course, are not gender specific. We all have kings and queens within us, and emperors and empresses, and knights and pages. It's gender neutral. So yes, you can be a king, you can be a queen, and you can be a king, and you can be them both at the same time, which is interesting. But you end up in full command of your power, sitting on your throne, being an expert, being the authority on something, which sounds pretty good. So that's up until August. So have a great time with that. Remember, this is not going to happen immediately. This will take a bit of time. But have a good time getting there, and I will see you at the beginning of August for the full August reading. So have a really good time in the meantime.